Pre-show shenanigans yesterday. Everett and I uploaded the Chargers draft off-season wish list type. I fucked that up, but yeah, the
First round
first
wish
round
list.
draft
Yeah.
wish list. I'm sorry. I just hear the word wish list and I instantly go to off season.
Off season.
Uh,
Draft,
yeah,
cut, trade.
we uploaded our Chargers first round wish list, and in that, you can go watch the last episode to see my quick reactions to it as the Chargers fan. But Everett went out there and said, and I quote, if JSN's there, he's a lock off the board. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but if JSN somehow is there at 21, that's a no-brainer. We're taking him, zero hezzies. The comment section to this is quite entertaining, okay? And let's just say my favorite comment on this post, Everett, you can correct me if I'm slightly wrong, but the Chargers, quote, don't need a JSN type receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just start with that. Okay. The Chargers don't need a JSN type receiver. Now I know what this guy is hinting at and insinuating, but this guy's saying that because JSN ran a 4.52, that essentially that means he runs a 6.8 40 and he will never pan out in the NFL. That's pretty much what this guy's hinting at. And I agree. Last year, the Chargers, we didn't have Jalen Guyton. We didn't have a guy to stretch the field. And it's not even like Jalen Guyton's really a dynamic stretch the field guy in his own, where you have to truly, truly key on him on defense and make sure he doesn't beat you. But still, also at the same time last year, we had to have a top 5 tackle in the league, and he was hurt in Rashawn Slater. We had no time to throw deep, even if Guyton was on the field. So getting Slater back actually allows us to throw deep, guys. It's a crazy concept, but blocking's important. I know, it's fucking crazy, right? It's not just about skill, guys. But back to JSN. If the Chargers pass on JSN and take a speed guy like Jalen Hyatt, this will be the exact same copy of the Eagles taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, because Jalen Reagor can stretch the field. Now, how that turned out for the Eagles, ask any Eagles fan. Actually, don't even ask them. Just Google Eagles Jalen Reagor, look it up on Twitter, and you will see the Eagles fan base and all of their opinions on Reagor.
The first thing you'll see is
so unsuccessful that he's actually now on the team that took Justin Jefferson.
Lost you for a second. Oh my God.
Jalen Hyatt over JSN.
Lost you for a second.
I'm back now. I'm
back now. It's back now.
If the Chargers take Jalen Hyatt over JSN, it's Jalen Reagor 2.0. We just wasted a first-round draft pick. Sure, Jalen Hyatt's faster than Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay. But JSN, the odds of him becoming an elite wide receiver is so much higher than Jalen Hyatt becoming an elite wide receiver. And for my first round pick, yes, ceiling matters a lot. Yes, it does matter a lot. But I also want my first round pick to fucking pan out.
Okay? Can you say that again, but just include like Zay Flowers or Mingo or something like that?
If the Chargers take Zay Flowers or Jalen Hyatt or Quentin Johnson over JSN, then this is the exact same copy of the Eagles taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. We're going to be making the same mistake that we've all seen, where the Eagles looked at the speed upside over the receiver that was actually fucking nice in college and had production, and now look at their careers. One of them's considered the best receiver in the NFL, and the other struggles to get playing time on the team that the best receiver in the NFL plays for. So, yeah. Let's not make this mistake.
The best part would be an exact copy of the video where the Vikings laughed when the Eagles picked.
Yes.
Because it will happen.
Zimmer was the coach at the time.
Zimmer was the coach. Rick Spielman was the GM. But just remember,
great video by the way.
The Chargers are 21, followed by two teams that could use a wide receiver in both the Ravens and the Vikings. You could literally have another situation where the Vikings are fucking laughing their ass off because a team picked the speedy wide receiver instead of the clear cut number 1 wide receiver in the draft. Well, not clear cut, but like the best wide receiver.
Now let's embrace some more significant debates here about draft prospects and how I evaluate them. One thing that we've been debating about a lot, Everett, is the difference between drafting for ceiling and drafting for floor and just getting a guy you can rely on. There are certain positions where, yeah, that ceiling is going to weigh a little more weight. Like for quarterback, everybody, fuck you, Patrick Mahomes. You ruined the expectations of any quarterback coming out of college. But now everybody wants to find their next Mahomes. And because of that, everyone's literally looking for, are you like Mahomes or not? Caleb Williams is. Like, he is the next Mahomes. But we're not talking about Caleb. It's the difference between ceiling and floor. And I think at receiver, I think the floor is more important, especially when you're drafting a first-round wide receiver.
100%.
Like, the risk that you could taking a Jalen Reagor over a Justin Jefferson is literally so, the risk is so big. I don't know how anyone with a proper mind could pick the fucking risky guy over the guy you saw dominate in college.
I also just like the thing on top of that also is just like, we see a lot of teams in the end of the first round be like, I'm just going to take a shot on a guy. Dude, it's still the first round. This is when the players, even like the top of the second round, like these are when the players that have the biggest guarantees to do well, like will go.
You can't miss on your first
You can't miss. And like, obviously we saw this with the Giants the other year when they drafted Kadarius Toney. Now, don't get me wrong. Kadarius Toney's gross on the Chiefs.
No, he fucking sucks. Every Chief player is awful.
But he is
so good.
He's gross on the Chiefs.
Chiefs get him. Like,
but the reason he sucked was because he was also on the Giants and they didn't know what they were doing. But like it's like, why are we drafting, like why are we drafting players who have huge marginal, like wide receiver specifically, like positions that you need at least a base floor? Like I get huge potential. Like, all right, I understand that. But if you have a wide receiver on the board that's like guaranteed available, like if we were going back to the draft where Justin Jefferson was picked, right? Let's say you have CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, and Jalen Reagor all on the board.
Reagor on the board?
Right.
I'm sorry. How the fuck could Reagor be ahead of any
of
those?
But that makes no sense. Obviously, I understand CeeDee Lamb. Okay. CeeDee Lamb, that's a guy that his floor is really high. His floor is high. Jeudy,
and the ceiling's there too.
Jeudy doesn't really have a high ceiling in my opinion, but the floor is there.
I would say he has a very high ceiling, and I would say he's just gone very unfortunate with injuries and shit.
But his floor production, he has floor production. Okay. Justin Jefferson, a little bit more one of those guys where you don't know what his ceiling is, but you knew that he was going to have a great floor. Dude put up 200 yards, 4 touchdowns in a playoff game in college.
I would also say it shouldn't have made sense, but I would say that there were even some doubts on Justin Jefferson's floor to a degree. Like I feel like somehow Justin Jefferson got knocked for playing in the LSU offense and having shit around him, but no one else does. Like, I'm shocked that you have fucking Justin Jefferson. You got him at what, 22? Like, that's illegal. That's fucking that should be illegal.
I also just want to add, like, this same kind of thing happened in 1998, the Randy Moss draft. There's one wide receiver taken above Randy Moss. Everybody saw what Randy Moss did at Marshall. You saw his intangibles, his speed, something that just doesn't exist. And like,
I think a lot of his knocks though were like
there were off the field issues. I understand that. But the dude that was taken before him was Kevin Dyson.
Oh, the all-time great.
Yeah, exactly. But who the fuck is Kevin Dyson? Who the fuck is Kevin Dyson? Like, I'm sorry. I like, he went to Utah. Okay. I've never heard of him considered any great college wide receiver or put up any big performance when college wide receivers. I've never heard his name. And this guy's kind of one of those
really
things.
Turned back the clock there.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Kevin Dyson?
Kevin Dyson.
Yeah, I like how you just turned back the clock.
Now somebody's gonna be like, how have you never heard of Kevin Dyson?
There's got to be at least one person out there.
There's gonna be one person.
Look at these fucking noobs. But yeah, I just use the term noob. I'm an iPad kid, guys.
No, you're not. No. We do not associate ourselves with them. We do not associate ourselves with them.
But yeah, it's just
Grant,
am I
frozen
still
frozen in carbonite over
can you
there.
hear me?
Yeah, I can
Am
hear
I good
you.
now?
You're fine.
Holy
You're
shit,
just getting
dude.
frozen every couple seconds. Oh, wait, there he goes again. This is going to be a very interesting episode for the boys.
Uh yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to put a finger up on this one. This is on US. Wait, can you hear me right now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh shit. That's very weird. But I'm gonna have to put a finger up for that. The pre-show intro could have been my internet, which okay. Fuck. We're on the topic.
The pre-show continues.
This is just a me thing. Like it doesn't matter where I am. My internet's always worse than yours. Just always.
The best part, by the way, too, is both of us obviously are in college right now. Both of us have the exact same Wi-Fi network. It's EDU Roam. So that's what like every college has. It's like the same. I don't know if it's the same provider or not, but it's the same system.
I also
Well, I guess I don't live on campus. I actually have my own Wi-Fi.
I do too.
Oh.
I mean, I would switch to the USC Wi-Fi right now, but I do not.
I have fiber internet though. That's the move.
Yeah, somehow LA just like
doesn't have
only
it.
Very weird and random specific locations in LA have fiber where it's like, who the fuck is even like?
Hold on, I'm just gonna interrupt real quick. Can we just clap it up for the boy? Hit my parlay today.
Yeah. MLB parlay
plus 490, plus 490 parlay.
Everett plus 490,
plus 490.
Damn, son. Oh, yeah. So you're on a heater again. You're back at it.
I'm back. I mean, I'm back.
I have never ever bet on the MLB in my life because I just turned 21. So I've never done it in my life. So I might have to get into this too if you're on a heater.
Yeah.
I might have to hop in on this.
Might have to hop in.
Yeah, all I'm saying, boys, it's Yerfy season. It is Yerfy season. All I gotta say. Okay. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very, very special episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today, it is episode 110. Happy 420, boys. And the Golden State Warriors have officially been eliminated from the NBA playoffs. Shout out Sacramento Kings. We're lighting the beam all fucking week. The Sacramento Kings, Everett, remember, game one of their series against the Warriors was the first time that they have played on ABC in a nationally televised game since 2006. I was wrong. It was not 07, it was 06. And now they're up 2-0 on the Golden State Warriors, and Draymond Green is suspended after their second star player, Sabonis, fully
third star player, Malik Monk. Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's the Kentucky boys and then Sabonis. I totally forgot. You're right. And Kevin Huerter. But Draymond Green is suspended in game 3. And I want to start off by saying this. I used to hate Draymond Green with a burning passion. He used to, by far, like everyone else other than Warriors fans, he was my least favorite NBA player in the league. However, Draymond Green's podcast and how Draymond Green treats Jordan Poole, because I fucking hate Jordan Poole, that Michigan piece of shit. Because of those factors, I now love Draymond. I'm actually a really big fan of Draymond, and I've been saying this a lot recently, maybe not on the podcast, but I love how Isaiah Thomas, to this day, is still beefing with other Michael 90s Jordan. NBA players. I hope that Draymond Green, Grant Williams, God fucking damn it, Dylan Brooks, all of the instigators in the NBA, I hope they're keeping the same energy talking shit in 40 years when they're way past retirement.
I met the criteria, but I wasn't selected.
I fit the criteria, but I wasn't
selected.
Okay, while we're on the topic of that too, I just want to say that if Isaiah Thomas 1000% should have been on the dream team.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is what I would say, though. I think the dream team would have performed worse with him
Thomas on it. I agree.
Than not. And by worse, I would say instead of their average margin of victory being 80 points, it would go down to 75. So they would be 5 points worse with Isaiah Thomas on the team. And my whole thinking is, Everett, could you imagine if IT and MJ were on the court at the same time? You think Michael Jordan is even looking at Isaiah Thomas to pass the ball? Fuck no.
No, he could be wide open.
Go sit in the fucking
He could be wide open and
doing
still not touch him.
You're not doing anything. You better play defense.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to say though is,
Draymond.
you know Draymond Green's podcast, because he's gonna probably live podcast the episode.
I'm so excited.
He's gonna be sitting there reacting to the episode. What the fuck did I call it an episode for? Reacting to the game. Yeah. And it's going to be fucking great.
I mean, if I'm Draymond Green's producer right now, I'm telling him,
you're
set up a live stream for you to watch it live.
The amount of money.
Sure when you're suspended, you can't even show up like on the bench. I think
you can't. The amount of money that he lost for not being at the game because of his suspension, he's going to make back just by this podcast. Just a question.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a player like live stream their reactions to a game, like for the team that they play for? Like, let's just say they're out with injury or they're home or something, they have COVID.
I don't have any memories of an active player on that team like live stream watching.
Because that'd be
sick.
The
only thing I can remember is Aguero, who used to be the Man City striker. It was after he retired. He would live stream him watching City, but that's it.
Could you imagine
current player,
can you imagine if Calvin Ridley, while he's been suspended this year,
I mean, that
live reaction
to entertaining
live stream the Jaguars games?
Well, and if he was also hinting that he was still betting on it, like never explicitly saying, but like
never said, no evidence.
It's a 12-point game with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Calvin Ridley.
Can you kick a field goal? He's sweating. He's vehemently asking for a field goal.
Yeah,
just from 50 yards. Every time it's first down from the 43. He's just for some reason yelling about kicking field goals.
There's nothing to play for, and he is screaming at the second string offense for the Tennessee Titans.
Like what?
But it's just back to Draymond Green. Holy fuck. Draymond Green has been suspended in game 3, and it's completely horseshit. This is
really. You think this? Do you
think he should be suspended?
Do you think his ejection was? Do you think his ejection was fair though?
Let's just talk about the game itself. Both calls were correct. Okay, Sabonis started the whole fucking thing. He instigated the entire altercation. Okay, he grabbed his leg, and twisted it. And Draymond, he got his legs wrapped up, but Draymond did not need to essentially. I was about to say like the Randy Orton head punt, but it was a stomp. But he kind of did like a completely unnecessary stomp on.
He was acting like he was in the WWE.
Like it was very unnecessary. However, I thought Draymond Tech out for that game, and Sabonis got a flagrant one, but then Sabonis, because it was a tech on Draymond, then just shot free throws afterwards. So I mean, it wasn't really a flagrant one. But that was enough of the punishment. The second Draymond went out, like Kings won that game.
I think that in the playoffs, unless it's something like I'm using vehemently a lot today.
Yeah.
Big words. Unless it's like a foul or something that's just horrific, like it's just downright like horrifying how bad it was. I don't think that players should be suspended in the playoffs unless it's actually like a true violation of like the rules, like they took some PEDs or something.
Like Draymond should have been suspended game 5 against the Caps. Yes. But this?
Yeah. But like also if you want to suspend him for like this, obviously like stomping on somebody's stomach, like that's foul.
Yes.
That is
excessive,
foul. And if Sabonis was actually injured because of that, okay.
Well, he's actually questionable with a I think it wasn't bruised sternum, but I think it was like sternum contusion. I was like,
what? Oh, okay. That's still it's a bruise. It's still a bruise.
After that, he was chest bumping Malik Monk and shit. He was.
But I also think that like the big thing for the NBA with that is kind of like the way that their big thing is like making impressions on kids and stuff. But if you want to suspend him, fine, whatever. But suspend him for the first game of next season. Don't suspend him for.
I don't think they would have held that over the rest of the year. The MLB did that shit with Yuli Gurriel when he did the eye shit to you, Darvish. But like the NBA, if they held that over to next year, I would also be like, why
If
even
somebody
suspend
if
him?
somebody
Like,
in the
what?
NBA did that shit though, that like to you like they did to you
Well,
Darvish,
there's
they're
obviously
out for the
separate
year.
implications with the NBA and their international market,
Yeah,
so
they're out
that
for
would
the
be a
year.
major problem there.
They're gone.
No, you'd be kicked out of the league straight up. Like you cannot do that. But
well, you can't do that. Period. Let's just clarify
allegedly,
that.
the reason why Joe Dumars, well, in the MLB you can, but the reason why Joe Dumars, who is the NBA VP and head of basketball operations, this is why he said Draymond was suspended. Quote, Draymond's excessive and over-the-top actions and his history as a repeat offender were large reasons why he was suspended for Game 3. This is kind of what we're going to get into with Max Scherzer and his sticky stuff, but repeat offenders, you are held to a higher standard, which I get, which makes sense. The thing is, though, like, this might be the only altercation that Draymond Green has ever had where he didn't initiate it. Like, he didn't start the fight. And I don't know if that's ever happened before. He starts every single fight he gets into, which is 4 a game. But he didn't start this one. And, like, I'm going to have to stick up for Draymond on this. I'm going to have to stick up for him. This is absolutely horseshit. Like, the NBA, also, if anyone's saying it's rigged for ratings, it's not, because the NBA just told Sacramento, we are letting you fucking advance. So, no. But after I said all definitely. This, I know Steph might drop 50 tonight.
They still might. Works. And they still might lose.
Oh, I want them to lose. I hate the Warriors, but it's just
it's also, I believe this is the first time they have ever gone down 2-0.
I'm not sure if that's true.
It might be.
They went down 2-0 against the Raptors in the 2019 finals.
That might have been. It might have been since 2019. It might have been since the 2019 finals.
Maybe that's the case, but yeah, Draymond shouldn't have been suspended. I thought it was unnecessary to suspend him. They already gave the Kings game 2. You just gave them another game. But moving on, Everett. We're recording this on April 19th, day before the famous holiday, but legacies were on the line last night on Tuesday, April 18th. Chris Paul has finally broken the curse, Everett. He has broken the Scott Foster losing streak record after beating the Clippers on Tuesday night, his old team. Chris Paul is now 1-14 in his last 15 NBA games.
Scott Foster was going for GOAT status last night, and an immaculate choke job by the officiating crew.
For a second, I thought Scott was going to give the Clips that one. For a second down the stretch, I was like, this is getting a little out of hand, but hey, we got 5 minutes left. Scott Foster's got time. There's still time on the clock, guys. Do not count Foster out. But Scott Foster couldn't influence the game as much as DeMar DeRozan's daughter influenced that play-in game, clearly. So, yeah, Chris Paul finally slayed his dragon. He's risen above all the adversity. I would also go so far to say that this is the biggest accomplishment in CP3's career.
Do you think that makes him a Hall of Fame candidate?
It definitely bolsters the resume. I would also say it is easier to make the NBA Hall of Fame than other sports leagues, but also at the same time, there are only 12 players on an NBA team, so it is harder to make an NBA team. So maybe it's harder to make the NBA Hall of Fame. But if you were every single person that has led the NBA in scoring for one season has made the Hall of Fame, Everett. Russell Westbrook is a guaranteed Hall of Famer. And I know everyone's going to clown Westbrook right now, but he actually is a no doubt Hall of Famer.
No, he is. He might be Westbrook, but he is most certainly a Hall of Famer, and give him the props that he deserves. Also, like on OKC, like he was lights out. He
averaged that triple-double for the first time since Big O. Like that was enough. That was enough.
Yeah. When
he was an MVP, he's definitely in.
He was on the Rockets with Harden, right? So I
mean, in the bubble when they played the Lakers, so funny. They're actually, I thought they were a little scared. They had Rocco on that team. I kind of like them. Daniel House, fucking baller. But yeah, CP3, he slayed his dragon. We want to shout out Chris Paul. Congratulations. We know how big this is for your legacy.
It is not as big as me hitting my parlay today, though.
Oh God, no, definitely not.
No.
moving on slightly to the MLB, though, just quick little subject. Dodgers had a noon game today.
Which they are currently losing.
Pretty
2-5.
We are going on a nice little road trip coming up here.
Coming up, yes.
So that's all we had, the noon game on a Wednesday. What the fuck? But Max Scherzer, right before the fourth inning, was ejected against his start against the Dodgers for sticky stuff on his glove. Now, as I'm reading more into this, there are now some more rumors circulating that Scherzer might have been ejected for just arguing with the ump in general.
Which is also not surprising.
Yeah. I mean, it's vintage Max. I mean, they call him Mad Max for a reason. But like Dave Roberts literally stopped slapping Scherzer on the ass because it bothered. Like, do you remember this?
Yeah, I do remember that.
He slapped Scherzer on the ass like after his first inning, and Scherzer turned it. Or I don't think Scherzer directly told Roberts, but Scherzer told somebody else, tell Dave to never fucking touch me again. And Dave Roberts literally never touched him again. Never even acknowledged Scherzer while he walked back to the dugout for the rest of that season. It was amazing. But now the rumors are swirling that Scherzer might have just been ejected for just arguing, like, why do you need to check me for sticky stuff anyway? Like, this is stupid, which he has a history of doing.
He kept yelling that it was rosin on his hand, by the way.
Yeah, but I've been trying to read into some more insights on the MLB sticky stuff, and this comes from the official MLB.com website, and the article is titled, quote, MLB announces updated enforcement guidelines for sticky stuff. The MLB, they don't even have a proper term for it. They also call it sticky stuff themselves. But Everett, and I quote, should an inspection reveal that the pitcher's hand is, in the words of the memo, quote, unquestionably sticky, the
Pause.
umpire... Yes.
Sorry. Continue.
The umpire will conclude that a foreign substance had been used in order to gain a competitive advantage, resulting in an ejection and potentially further penalties. Now, going back to Draymond Green being a repeat offender, Max Scherzer is a repeat offender, and because of that, he might be punished a little more harshly than a first-time offender. So we got to keep our eyes on the ball. According to Frank the Tank, Max Scherzer is going to be suspended for 80 games. So that's just what Frank said. So look out for that, guys. Look out for that. Sticky stuff is still here.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say the umps this season have seemed to be very lenient with like their first checks, because there was with Herman the other day versus the Twins, who he got caught with sticky stuff, and they were like, just go wash it off. Came back out, pitched another inning. They were like,
Herman Marquez.
Yeah, Domingo Herman.
Oh, Domingo Herman. Okay.
Then they came back out, pitched another inning. They were like, you didn't wash it off, so go back, wash it off again. They didn't eject him or anything like that. The Twins manager was then ejected for getting pissed off that they didn't eject Herman. But even like with Scherzer, the first time they caught him, like he was getting pissed off because the ump was going in his glove,
belt off and everything. It was beautiful to watch.
Well, no, this year.
Oh.
But like the ump was going through his glove because the ump felt like there was sticky stuff in the glove. So he was like, get a new glove and wash off your hands. You can come back out and pitch. And Scherzer obviously
obviously did not like
that. No. So,
well, also question, Everett. Scherzer, if he went out to go switch out stuff, that should be a pitch clock violation, right?
No, this was at the end of this. This was the end, because this is on there.
I know, I'm kidding a little bit, but this is going back to Cody Bellinger getting a pitch clock violation for receiving his standing ovation, and it's strike one.
Was that Angel Hernandez on under?
I don't think it was Angel, but it would have been perfect if it was him. But yeah, MLB, like, I would also say, like, overall, they're not as intense on the sticky foreign substance checks. But when Scherzer's pitching, the refs are like, oh, yeah, you bet Scherzer, I'm checking you literally before every batter. You fucking know that. Like, Scherzer has a target on his back. So does Mad Bum. They're fucking hothead pieces of shit. Umps are going to come after them. Hey, you called it upon yourself. But if you don't have anything else on the MLB, Everett.
I do not. No, I don't believe I do.
It is time to officially confirm that I am the biggest jinx in all of sports. Last night, Minnesota Wild.
Two nights ago. This was a Monday night.
This comes out.
This was on Monday night.
Oh, I swear this was yesterday.
No, this was Monday night. into
Last
Tuesday
night-
morning. It was Tuesday morning technically too, but yeah.
So last night, while the Minnesota Wild were playing the Everett, who were they?
Monday night when the Wild were playing the
Monday
Stars.
night when the Minnesota Wild were playing the
Stars, the Dallas
Stars, I tweeted out an apology to the Waterboy faithful that Everett and I will not watch a single minute of any playoff hockey this year. That was cap. Immediately after tweeting that out, Everett notified me that he was watching the game. But even more importantly, the Minnesota Wild proceeded to instantly give up 2 goals to lose their 1-goal lead. So I'm putting a finger up, Everett. That's on me. I'm sorry. That was my fault. More of an apology to our not unnamed intern, but future intern Brian.
He is in the application pool.
Yes, yeah.
Don't give him that much credibility. He is in the pool.
We'll see if he makes the interview phase, but we're still going over it.
Well, he has to talk to the unnamed intern. The unnamed intern is doing the application process. So
I would just say though, like playoff hockey, there's honestly nothing greater than overtime playoff hockey, and you had a double overtime.
No. I learned this the hard way.
There's something better than overtime playoff hockey.
Overtime and playoff hockey is not the same as regular season. In regular season, they do 3-on-3, and it's just a shootout. And then if it's still tied, they'll do like a face-off, and it'll just be penalty shots.
Oh yeah, screw that. I like the 5-on-5. Playoff is 5-on-5.
5-on-5.
Unless I was crazy.
5-on-5 is sudden death, but it's a 15-minute period.
No, yeah, you guys essentially played 5 periods.
We played 5 periods, and I went to bed at 1 a.m.
Well, I mean, it is harder to sit down and watch sports all day than to just play in 1 game a day. We know that as fact. But oh my god, for the fucking players, you have to play more.
Terrible.
What? You get 1 day, 1 off day,
one day in between. Also, I want to shout out
Game 2 under.
It was 3. I think it was 3-2 was the final score. Both goalies saved 50 plus shots.
Yeah.
50 plus shots. Like that's crazy.
I
don't follow hockey. I don't follow hockey.
No, Everett, stop selling.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
You're the biggest.
Can I finish? I don't follow hockey that much. I know a little bit more than the average person, but my Minnesota blood just really, really came through. So I had to watch the game. And with that said, I don't know who needs to be told this, especially by somebody who doesn't really follow hockey. But I know a bad hit when I see one. And if anybody thinks the hit that Dumba made on Przewalski, whatever his name is an illegal and bad hit, you shouldn't be watching sports. You should not be watching contact sports. Go watch horseback riding or croquet or something, because this is not your sport. Go watch tennis. Go watch golf. Those are great sports, but they're not contact sports.
What makes hockey entertaining to, let's say, a non-hockey fan? If you're just going to turn on the TV and actually tune into a game, we want to see the hits.
No, like you're talking about a sport where people are literally legally allowed to beat each other to a pulp.
Yeah.
So, and that's not like UFC where it's the main thing. Like that's just a side objective that you could do.
It literally has nothing to do with the actual game itself. It is, if you have beef with another guy,
yeah, just go beat his ass.
Squabble, go for it. We're gonna let you do that. We're not saying no. We're gonna let you do that, and we gotta stick to what makes hockey unique, guys. But okay, on to some football now.
No, I'm gonna have a little interlude here before we get on to football.
My goodness, more hockey. See,
not hockey. It's not hockey. But I did talk to you about this before the start of the episode. I have a question, and because this question is not really it's kind of associated to every sport. Before we get into football, I wanted to ask it. What do you think is the greatest stretch of accomplishments by an athlete ever? Like, this is one period of time. It's not like Michael Jordan, where he won a couple rings, had a break, then won a couple rings. It's not like Tom Brady, where he won a couple rings, had a break, won a couple rings. Like, it has to be at one stretch of time. What do you think is the
wait?
One stretch of time.
Did you say the 90s isn't a stretch of time for Michael Jordan?
I'm saying like
what is your definition of stretch of time?
Like it's dependent on the sport. It's dependent on the sport. So like for swimming stretch of time, like Michael Phelps winning like first in like 5 different Olympics, like back to back to back to back. That's a good stretch. For the Lakers, their three-peat, that's one stretch. For the NFL,
I would say that we can talk individual athletes versus team athletes, which is where this is going to go. But in my opinion, there's no greater accomplishment or accolade literally in all of sports than NBA Finals MVP. There's nothing that boosts somebody's resume like NBA Finals MVP. And it's really hard to beat Michael Jordan. 6 finals appearances, 6 finals wins, and 6 NBA final MVPs. It's very hard to touch that. Also keep in mind him having a crippling gambling addiction while all of it was going on.
Coming in from Las Vegas at 2 a.m.
in place still. Like, you got to keep that in mind too.
And you have Dennis Rodman on the team. So it's really an accomplishment.
There were many factors going on. There's actually nothing greater than Dennis Rodman in the middle of the season just being like, I need 2 weeks off. I'm going to Vegas. See you guys. That's also so funny.
Just keep in mind, Michael Jordan literally retired from basketball for a year to play baseball.
Well, the reason that happened.
That's why I said play baseball. I did this.
Well, yeah. We all know he got his dad murdered for not paying off his gambling debts. And the mafia made him retire. But hey, that's a whole nother topic.
This is going to be my what I'm gonna say. Michael Phelps, obviously one of the greatest athletes of all time. Usain Bolt, greatest athlete, one of the greatest athletes. Tom Brady, greatest football player of all time.
Real quick, actually finish your point, but I want to go back to the Michael Phelps versus Usain Bolt because I think that is
it's a debate. It's a debate.
It is up for debate. I think it's clearly one of them. But...
Okay. This is what my answer to the question is. So Tiger Woods obviously has had history over the last couple of years, more than a couple. But from 1997 to 2013, Tiger Woods was a combined 126 under par in all major championships combined.
Can you repeat that time frame one more time for me?
1997 to 2013. So 16 years.
Was that his debut?
Yes. So over 16 years, Tiger Woods was a combined 126 under par among all major championships he played in. The person in second place behind him was 125 over par. So 200 strokes behind him.
Okay. So,
and on top of that, Tiger Woods all time has a 23% win percentage.
So that's like, you just gave me quantifiable numbers to support that, which are good. Now we're massive dimple heads on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't alive when Tiger won his first 2 Masters. So I don't even know what he was really like early in his career. But according to the people I know that follow golf, if Tiger ever had a lead going into Sunday at any tournament, major or
would not lose,
fucking minor, he literally would win every single time. If he ever had a lead going into Sunday, he never lost it. And I only really follow the Masters, but I swear, for the last 6 Masters, whoever had the lead going into Sunday never
lost.
Never won. And that's really the pressure. Brooks Koepka, being the leader on that last day, the pressure's on him. Yeah. It's all on him. And so golf is the ultimate mental sport. Everyone says that. Everyone knows that. And that just proves
I think I also said this the other day too. I think the most expensive, probably the biggest sports memorabilia piece to ever exist is Tiger Woods' putter. And that's because Tiger Woods, in the entire time he's been playing since 1997, every major championship he's won, every single round of golf he's ever played in since then, he has used the same putter. He has never replaced the face. There are literal marks on the putter face from hitting the ball so many times. So, the pictures of him holding the putter and stuff.
Same brand, same model, but
the same putter
itself.
All the pictures of him holding up the putter, him winning. That's the putter.
Yeah, I mean, Tiger, he's built different. We all know him. Shit, put Nike golf on the map. So Tiger's done a lot.
I'm just gonna say if you don't consider Tiger Woods one of the greatest athletes of all time or on your Mount Rushmore, that's kind of an issue for all the
I'm not a
accomplishments he's had.
dimplehead, but yeah, greatest golfer of all time.
Yeah.
And just the greatest story, like winning the Masters 2019. It's kind of
that was a great story.
It's
great
like very
story.
tough to beat that. But let's go back to embracing debate between Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps. I'll keep this real quick. Everett, who would you say is the more dominant athlete?
Usain Bolt had a great stretch, but Michael Phelps was the more dominant athlete.
It's Michael Phelps.
It's Michael Phelps.
It's Michael Phelps without question, Everett. Okay, Usain Bolt has in 8 events at the Olympics 8 gold medals, so perfect 8 for 8. But in terms of overall, like all
time, all medals, yeah,
like all events and all tournaments, he has 23 gold medals combined.
Yeah, how many does Michael Phelps have at the Olympics alone?
Michael Phelps has 23 Olympic gold medals. Yeah.
I just want to say, like, look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If I'm an Olympian athlete, right, and I'm about to do some dash, I don't really know running that well, and I'm lined up next to Usain Bolt, I'm shitting my pants. But if I'm a swimmer and I'm gonna do like the butterfly or something, and I see Michael Phelps next to me, oh, I've given up before I've even started. I know I'm going for second place. I'll
be honest. I think I'd have that same mentality going up against both guys, but it's like Michael Phelps, like.
But I know I'm not fighting for first place. I'm trying to get second. At least with Usain Bolt, like I feel like maybe I have a chance. Michael, like not literally. But like there's the American sprinter was like always neck and neck with him.
But yeah. So yeah, we just embrace debate, boys. But okay, quick little football thing. Just some quick college football things for me. Okay. Order has officially been restored as of Wednesday, April 19th. The Ohio State Buckeyes are back with the #1 recruiting class in the class of 2024. Everything is back to normal, guys. So there's nothing to worry about. But more importantly, former top interior defensive line recruit Bear Alexander from Georgia has entered the transfer portal, and he is predicted to go to USC. I can't believe that I just said that sentence, Everett, but USC is now picking up some defensive recruits, and I can see now why Alex Grinch is still on staff. He went up to Lincoln and was like, hey, you saw the personnel on the defense. You knew I had no chance from the get-go. That first year was a wash.
I'm a fix it up for you. I'm gonna fix it up for you.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Alex Grinch said.
I thought you were gonna modify that and make it a little more harsher. But yeah, Bear Alexander. I don't know how we get a defensive lineman when you look at Georgia's success that they've had at interior D line recently and get him to go to USC. I don't know how, but we'll take that. We'll fucking take that shit.
Yeah, no, Tajay abusing their entire and our offensive line and abusing the entirety of the USC D line, might have made some might have mean some changes were needed.
Yeah, I like personally I'd like to say that was the final nail in the coffin. I would personally say us giving up like 1,000 rushing yards to Arizona State was the
that actually
flag for. I'm exaggerating.
How much did you give up?
It was just everybody was just gashing our defense. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but I think we recognized the defense was asked before the Tulane game. But I'm with you. That should have really been the final point. Like this is ass, guys. But I'm with you on that. I am. But time for the NFL, Everett. Time for the NFL. Allen Robinson has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Holy shit.
Chicago Bears. What the fuck?
I just know he came from Chicago. I just know he's going to some fucking shitty team. And I just remember Chicago A-Rob. But he's going to the Steelers, Everett. But also, this trade was very interesting because the Rams had to also trade the Steelers a 7th-round pick for a 7th-round pick back. So the Rams moved up, I think, like 10 or 20 spots in the 7th round and gave up Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, if you
So
remember, so the Rams signed Allen Robinson last offseason. And if you remember,
was
I
it sign or did they trade for him?
maybe it was a trade and sign, but they gave him a new contract. If no, Allen Robinson was not on the Bears 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. I think he was a free agent. But
No, he was on the Bears 2021.
I think he was a free agent though. Whatever. I don't care. I remember just distinctly saying, like, if you're the Rams, why, like, it just isn't necessary to spend that money when you have to do other things to fix the team. And obviously now it didn't pay off, but a 7th round pick, that just kind of goes to show you how bad that contract was.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that he put up 340 receiving yards last year in 10 games. That also didn't help. But yeah, like just pure salary cap perspective, Rams save more by trading him than cutting him. I'm not sure if they would have actually saved money by cutting him. I don't think they could
Hold
have.
on. I
But
need, I'm just fact checking something real
okay,
quick.
but it's just Allen Robinson. That didn't work out. Also, he was my 5th round pick last year, so I knew from the get go that it wasn't going to work out. But that just wasn't a great transaction for the Rams. Allen Robinson wasn't quite their Odell Beckham replacement going into last year.
It's the first trade that I've missed this offseason.
I was gonna say I specifically remember you saying restructure Allen Robinson, and I was like,
And
oh
you
my God,
said,
Everett, I think that might be the worst thing that the Rams could possibly
you
do.
said,
They're
you
stuck
said,
with
you
him
said,
forever.
and I quote, get him the fuck out of
Fuck
here.
out of here. Which
So
is what
technically, we were still right.
Nothing.
We were still technically right. We were still technically right.
They weren't looking to get any assets by trading Allen Robinson. It was purely, you're so awful for our salary cap. We'll do anything to get rid of you. Anything. So I also just want to say, Everett, I know how you feel. It's pretty
great.
Sick to just see the future and just
great.
get something right like that.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
Well, what can I say? It is Waterboy Analytics. I mean, yes, I've had my own run, but I mean, this is a team effort here. We are doing the research together. It is Waterboy Analytics.
Yeah, I mean, Everett, he doesn't like to hype himself up, but there's a massive server board room like right behind him.
I have that door behind me goes straight into a 500 computer
massive, like,
server room
of just servers, like, ugh,
all just running analytics in Excel.
But yeah, it didn't quite work out for the Rams. It didn't quite work out.
We'll see how it goes for the Steelers. I'm a little interested how that's going to go with Deontay Johnson and George Pickens there, because I mean, they also literally they have the same offensive coordinator last year, and keep in mind Deontay Johnson, who was their number one, did not score a touchdown for like 17 weeks.
I could have sworn like there was a period of time where, or no, it wasn't the Steelers. It was like the Giants a couple of years ago where like a wide receiver didn't catch a touchdown until like week 10.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But without further ado, let's get into your CJ Stroud list.
Yeah, so Bryce Young's going to go number 1 instead of CJ Stroud. So these are the teams that I think CJ will perform the best on. So without further ado, here's the please draft list for CJ Stroud. To the Colts, Raiders, Jets, if Aaron Rodgers decides to pull a fast one on us and doesn't retire, Commanders, and Seahawks, please take CJ Stroud. This man is the future. I don't know why it's suddenly come up, all these rumors of CJ Stroud being uncoachable, like that cognitive test thing came out, and now apparently CJ Stroud's stupider than a doorknob. These narratives are now flying around. But just look at what CJ Stroud does on the field. Just watch that, and then watch what Will Levis and AR-15 do on the field. On the field, all I gotta say, just look at it and think what's going on here. The one thing I just want to say, which makes no sense to me, Everett, you let me know if you think this makes sense. Mel Kiper Jr. puts Will Levis ahead of CJ Stroud for this reason. In 2021, not last season, 2 years ago, in 2021, when Will Levis was on, he threw like an NFL quarterback. CJ Stroud, well, first things first, he's always on. There's never such thing as CJ Stroud being off. But CJ Stroud makes NFL throws every time he throws the ball. So Mel Kiper said that Will Levis is better than CJ Stroud because half the time Will Levis is as good as CJ Stroud.
I'm not gonna lie.
Make that make sense.
I have a second round grade on Will Levis.
So I understand, we were talking about this earlier. Quarterback, I understand because of Patrick Mahomes, you're now looking more at the ceiling than the floor here. But I swear, if you are a long-term project, you're not a first-round pick.
Also, let me just clarify something too. I know that there's the big boards, right, with all of your prospects, but when I'm making like my list, when I'm doing like the list that I have that we put out, I'm doing it for individual prospects. So when I rank all the prospects together, I might have a second round grade on a quarterback on the quarterback list, but in the actual big list itself, it might be a fourth round grade because there's other players that I'm continuing. So on the list that we put out for the quarterbacks, it went CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker. I have a second round grade on both Hendon Hooker and Will Levis, but in the actual draft, for the big board, it might be lower than that. So we'll see. But
and also just certain teams have different positional needs and stuff. So you might take a second round quality player at a certain position because you really need it.
Yeah, you might reach.
Just, yeah. You know what, the OSU quarterback hate, it's going to keep going.
It's continue. I tweeted that out.
For a second we were going to get a number 1 overall pick or not, but yeah, CJ Stroud, Colts, Raiders, Jets if Aaron Rodgers pulls a fast one, Commies and Seahawks. I'd love CJ in any of those uniforms.
Okay. So speaking of the draft, let's get into my official 1.0 mock draft with like 7 days to go till the draft, literally a week from today.
Mock draft 1.0. Everett, before we get into this, can you enlighten our viewers on your accuracy last season in your official mock draft?
It's not good. That's all they need to know. It was bad. It was very bad. It was very, 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 very bad. I think I got one. I think I got one pick, and it was a left tackle. I wasn't going to say the
number, but Everett got one player accurately predicted from what actually.
What I will say,
cross to the Seahawks.
What I will say,
just how the fuck you get that?
What I will say is, for the most part, I got the teams wrong, but the way in which I drafted the players, I was kind of correct with how good I thought certain players would be and where they deserve to actually be picked. Like I had Sauce Gardner going like 5. So, and the way that I'm doing this, this is more so it's not necessarily what I think the teams individually are going to do. It's partially what I think they're going to do.
This is based off of tips. This is based off all of the reports that Everett has
this is
from his inside sources. This is not what he would do if he
no. This is what I think that they will do, and partially what I think I would do if I was in the position that they are in. So it's a mix of both. Okay. I'm not guaranteeing that all these picks are going to be correct, but what I will say is, if it was me and I'm the GM, this is what I would be doing. So with that said, let's get the show rolling here. Number 1 pick to the Panthers, no doubt about it. It's Bryce Young, minus 5,000, I think, right now for odds.
It's that high?
It's like minus 1,000. Maybe it's like
minus 1,200.
I think it's minus 1,000, but that's still very high. And now for pick 2, a lot of people, I've seen people talking about trading the pick back. I've seen Nick Casario talking about that. Possibly drafting a quarterback here still. Don't overthink it. It's Will Anderson. Don't overthink it. Will Anderson is one of the best prospects in this draft. He's one of the best defensive he potentially could end up being the best defensive player in this draft. Obviously, Jalen Carter's there, but Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, 1 and 2 defensive prospects, possibly even 1 and 2 players in this draft. Don't overthink it. Will Anderson at 2. We'll get a quarterback of the future next year. I mean, if you want to be in the Caleb Williams contention, go ahead. He's going to be a generational prospect, and the rest of those quarterbacks, Michael Pratt, are going to be great too. Pick 3. This is where we're starting to get wild.
Oh,
Trade.
snap.
Trade. I wish the sirens
I'm
were
on board
going
with
right
that
now,
too.
but trade. Trade. The Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, have traded back to the 11th pick with the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans have traded up to 3, and they select Anthony Richardson with the 3rd overall pick.
Yikes.
This is one of those picks when we're talking about high ceilings, but we don't know where that floor is at. I've seen projections that have Anthony Richardson at about 80% bust rate. But I mean, shit, if you can develop him properly, he could be one of the
keyword is if.
If it is if.
So
but
real quick, I want to just quickly comment on this. I said this before. Let's say Anthony Richardson, to turn him into he essentially would be better than Mahomes if he actually hit his maximum ceiling, because he's the most athletic quarterback and has the strongest arm in the history of the world. So this is what I just want to say. I think the odds of you developing him into that great quarterback, whatever, I think there's actually a higher chance of, like, I don't know, the world ending tomorrow. You need a miracle. Scratch that. You need multiple miracles to get AR-15 to that position ever.
See, I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's based
multiple
off
miracles.
I think it's based off what team he goes to, and obviously the Titans doesn't really help. But I think Mike Vrabel being the coach there, and just kind of like the run game utility that they have, I think that they're more focused on that than the actual throwing upside. But I do think that you still have Ryan Tannehill under contract. He's an average quarterback. He's an average quarterback,
he's a gamer.
But he is a precise quarterback for the most part. He's a thrower, all right? And he used to be
Everett,
a runner.
I want to quickly bring up, though, that one thing that you talk about a lot is for these project quarterbacks, you want them to sit behind a veteran and learn. Ryan Tannehill last year, when Malik Willis got drafted, said, "It is not my job to babysit him. That's not my job."
Well, it is now. If they draft a quarterback in the first round.
See, this is where I think this is where we disagree. I'm sorry, Ryan Tannehill is not going out of his way to help AR-15 take his job from him.
That's also Ryan Tannehill only has 1 year left on his contract. So if he wants a job after next year,
I get that, but like, it's not.
That's just kind of the way. That's just kind of the way it works. No, but other teams are going to see it, and he's an old quarterback, so they're not going to be like, "Oh yeah, I want to bring you in to be the starter." They're going to be like, "No, I want to bring you in to develop my guy." So
I just don't think that I don't think there's many guys that like.
I'm also going to tell you to close your blinds over there.
Yeah, I probably should do that, but we've been having it going on for so long, so I'm just gonna stay cast.
But yeah, pick 3, Anthony Richardson. Grant and I disagree, but I think that that's probably what they will do. I think the athletic upside matches with what Mike Vrabel wants to do. Ryan Tannehill is basically contracts up, and they're about to be in a full rebuild. So I guess they're just starting that with a quarterback that needs to develop anyways.
Actually, I am on board with that pick, because I think that just gets us one step closer. Mike Vrabel saying, "Fuck this team, I'm out." And
he goes to Ohio State.
Well, no, I'm not even saying that, but like, there was disconnect with him in the GM last year, and I don't think Vrabel would like that.
Pick 4. I know that there's been rumors of this man falling out of the top 10. It's not even rumors. People obviously hate the school that he goes to with his position specifically, but CJ Stroud goes to the Colts at 4. We will have 3 quarterbacks taken in the first 4 picks. So I think his skid, like, he could skid. I think that is very possible, but the Colts need a quarterback. I don't think that they're gonna not take one this year. That really just doesn't make sense to me. So CJ Stroud still works for them.
I would also say, like, among these teams, I mean, I'm not like expecting a playoff run from the Colts, but at least day one, I think they're kind of set up. They got some pieces.
And look, if for whatever reason the Texans decide to draft a quarterback, right? The Cardinals could trade back, and the third quarterback could be off the board before the Colts even get to pick. But honestly, if I'm the Colts, I'm standing pat. I'm sticking with 4. I'm not trading up to 3. I'm not trading up to 2 to draft a quarterback. I'm sticking at 4. And if the quarterbacks are gone, I could trade down. I'll be able to get Will Levis later if we really want a quarterback, or I'm just gonna take Will Anderson. So, but CJ Stroud at 4. 5, Jalen Carter. I think it's a done deal. Best potential athletic player in this draft. I think he is the highest on the field, highest upside, highest value. But I think that if he doesn't go there, the skid stops at 6. The Lions will easily take him. Lions finish it out with Tyree Wilson at 6, second edge rusher to go in this draft. Pair Tyree Wilson with Hutchinson. That's a gross D line that you got built up right there.
But yeah,
You were giving Hutchinson some credit last year. Don't cat with me.
Yeah, no, it was really impressive. I think he got like 3 sacks.
You got to pick.
On Justin Fields too. Shit, what can I say?
Pick 7, the Raiders.
Greatest defense player ever.
A lot of people have possibility of getting a quarterback, getting a wide receiver, not a wide receiver, but getting a quarterback, whatever. They go defense here. They're going to get Christian Gonzalez. Not my number 1 corner on the draft, but I've seen him projected to go much higher recently. Has huge upside, potentially to be the best corner in this draft. And they go and get their guy. They need to refill basically their entire secondary. It's non-existent right now, and they start that off with the rookie and Christian Gonzalez. Pick 8, Atlanta Falcons. There are many options they can go here for their defense or offense. They just got Jeff Okudah, so they're not going to go cornerback. They could really go either way, but I think with Jalen Carter and Tyree Wilson and both going off the board, I think they're going to go wide receiver here and trying to get Desmond Ridder some weapons, potential blockers.
Oh my God, Desmond Ridder's their quarterback.
But I think that the Falcons being the Falcons, they're going to fuck this up. They're going to take Quentin Johnson, and he's going to be the first wide receiver off the board, even though he's really shouldn't be taken in the first 25 picks, if that. He is bad. He's not good. He is not good. But the Falcons will take him just because of his size. Pick 9. A lot of people say that the Bears could trade down. I think that they don't. I think they get the best tackle in this draft, and they take Paris Johnson Jr. and pair him up with another Ohio State player and Justin Fields. Obviously, they've played together. He's been Justin Fields' guy before. He's going to be his guy in the NFL. Now we're getting a little bit wild. Once again, pick 10.
Juice is wild.
Pick 10 used to be the Eagles. It's no longer the Eagles. The Green Bay Packers have traded up from pick 15 to pick 10 to take a wide receiver. Jordan Love will now be throwing to JSN.
Wait, just real quick. So you're telling me that the second Aaron Rodgers is gone, now they're
taking a wide receiver. Yes.
All right.
They're trading up 5 spots with the Eagles to take a wide receiver. JSN goes off the board at pick 10.
That'd be so fucking funny.
I think it's plausible though.
So
I think the Eagles are going to trade back from that position either way.
Trade up for it too. Oh my God, that'd be so
well, the Texans and I guess the Cardinals both have picks 11 and 12, and both are potentially in the market for a wide receiver. Texans will 100% take JSN at 12 if he's available. So you're going to have to leapfrog.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. Yeah.
I think that the Packers, I think they could take Jordan Addison, but JSN, I think, is so much better as a prospect than Jordan Addison. They're going to want to go and trade and get him. You trade up 5 spots, you take him, you're happy with him. Now you got a wide receiver to pair with your quarterback of the future who's dog shit. But yeah. Big 10, trade up. JSN's off the board at 10. 11, the Cardinals have traded down to this spot. They take Devon Witherspoon. They shore up their secondary here. I had them basically being able to take him early. It's my number 1 corner in this draft. I think it's a steal at 11. Pick 12. Houston could trade down here. They could get basically whoever they want. They could take Jordan Addison. They could take Will Levis. They could take a tackle. They could take Nolan Smith. They could take Joey Porter, whatever. They're going to take Peter Skoronski here, get that O-line developed a bit more for their quarterback of the future, who they will take either later in this draft or next year when they get Caleb Williams, Michael Pratt, somebody like that. Now, they could also move Peter Skronsky inside, make him a guard if they really want to. He's kind of can go wherever. 13, Jets. They stand pat. They need to tackle. They're going to get Broderick Jones from Georgia. Pretty easy there. 14, this could go any which way. I've seen them trade down. I've seen them take Bijan Robinson. They really like him. I've seen them take corners, edges, wide receivers, whatever. They get Lucas Van Ness, perfectly fits the Bill Belichick ideology there. He's from Iowa, plays edge, just so happens to be white. Not saying anything about that, but
thank you for saying it. We were all thinking
but
that.
he is an edge rusher. They need that help there. So Lucas Van Ness, 14 to the Patriots, 15 the Eagles have traded down here. They get Nolan Smith. I'm gonna go kill myself. Not literally, but yeah, they take Nolan Smith. Yes, the Nolan Smith who absolutely destroyed the combine. The Eagles have replenished their defensive edges. Not happy about that one. Washington could go a couple ways here, but they're going to get Joey Porter Jr., get the secondary a little bit more shored up to start the next generation of the Commanders franchise. Hopefully,
they might not be the Commanders for much longer.
But hopefully it's just
we
without Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder hasn't technically sold the team yet. He still might be there for the draft. So he just might say fuck it and screw the whole thing up. 17, Steelers need tackle help. I don't really think that they care who's there. They're just going to take the best tackle available. Darnell Wright, who people have projected potentially being a top 3 tackle in this draft, maybe even 2. They take him at 17. 18, we talked about this before for the Lions. They could go Brian Branch. They could go wide receiver, defensive tackle, whatever. But I think they go double down on defensive line here. They take Tyree Wilson in the first pick. They get Brian Breezy for the inside with that second pick at 18.
Okay. Now,
Kalijah Kancey.
They run a
4-3? Yes, they want run a 4-3.
Okay.
Kalijah Kancey also is a possibility here with just athleticism, but Brian Breezy is a big body bulldozer guy. I think that they could really use him.
I'm a big fan of Rasheed. He was a baller. I will never forget he was a true freshman mauling Ohio State guards.
But 19, just how to do it. They're gonna take Will Levis. It's a mistake, but they're taking Will Levis. The Bucs are taking Will Levis at 19. Okay. God have mercy for the wide receivers down there, but Will Levis. He's going to be studying underneath Baker Mayfield. So
Evans and Godwin are still there, correct?
Yes. Baker Mayfield is their quarterback right now, I believe, and Will Levis will be learning from Baker Mayfield. So that'll be interesting. 20.
Oh, and Baker's 100% going to focus on developing Will Levis. Right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's his job. That's his job, right? 20. I think Seattle could trade down here. I think it's very likely. Any of these teams from 22 to 25 could trade up. Jordan Addison is still available, so the Giants might want to leapfrog to get him. But 20, I've seen Kalijah Kancey go here. I think that's a strong possibility to get the inside of their D line because they got Jalen Carter earlier. I don't know about that. I think that they're going to go guard here. I think they're going to take Osiris Torrance off the board, who technically isn't really rated as a first-round prospect. But the Seahawks, they like to draft random people that you've never heard about before in the first round. They've done that multiple times before. So I think they're going to do it here.
Drafted a guard in the first round last year. I don't know. You tell me.
I didn't hear any of that, to be honest, but
well, I would repeat it, but let's keep it going.
You took Zion Johnson, and he's not good. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, 21. This is the team you've been waiting for, the Chargers.
Now, just real quick. I mean, I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
Deontay Banks.
Okay, let's say it together on 3. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Deontay Banks.
Bijan Robinson.
Oh. No. You take Deontay Banks.
Why would we take Deontay Banks?
So you were talking about this before. JC Jackson's still recovering. He's not great, okay? Obviously, Asante Samuel's good, but a big thing that happened when the Jaguars were playing the Chargers.
Michael Davis is the best corner on the team.
Yeah, but you also lost Bryce Callahan. So
that is very true.
I think that I
Oh,
think
if we go corner
I
here,
know,
oh
I know you want a wide receiver. Jordan Addison's a possibility here. Okay, don't get me wrong, Jordan.
and a Maryland corner.
Jordan Addison's a possibility, but Deontay Banks, I think, is going to go here because of what happened in the playoff game versus the Jaguars. And the big thing there was your secondary got exposed. Okay, and I think that with
Okay. Well, let's. I'm gonna draw back on that too. Yes, we had a
the D line
27 early
wasn't
choked
helpful
it.
either. I'll give you that.
We couldn't fucking score to save our life. The problem was not the defense. Like obviously we were choking like motherfuckers. We're the Chargers, Everett. I get it. You don't need to be mean. But
I also just want to preface this though. I want to preface this though. This is 1.0 mock draft, and as of right now, Austin Eckler has not been traded. There's a week left until the draft. Okay, unless
he's not
Austin
gonna play for us.
if Austin Eckler is traded before the draft, okay, Bijan Robinson could go like this. So Austin Eckler, if they have a deal ready to go after they draft Bijan Robinson at 21 and they just want to wait and see if they can get him, okay, fine. I get that, but this is the assumption. Like as of right now, Austin Eckler's still on the team. He's still there. I think you're going to take Deontay Banks, and then on top of that, it's a deep running back class. It's a deep wide receiver class. In the second round, you can go and get numerous guys at the wide receiver position. Fill out the third round with a running back. You can take Tajay. I don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs will be there. Kendre Miller. Like there's a lot of options. Okay. So I think you're going to shore up your secondary with Deontay Banks. 22, Ravens could go wide receiver, but now they have Odell. I think that they're going to take an edge here to replace Calais Campbell that they lost. Miles Murphy from Clemson goes to 22 to the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm a big fan of him. I like
Miles Murphy
a lot.
23, my team. Okay, there's a couple options that could happen here. If Dalvin is gone, Bijan could be taken. They could draft Jordan Addison. Brian Branch has been a name that I've associated with him a lot of times. Kalijah Cansey is still on the board. Okay. We need interior help, but I think the pick here is going to be Jordan Addison. If he is still there, if that's the layout, I think Jordan Addison goes to the Vikings at 23. He's going to be the wide receiver next to Justin Jefferson. If they shore that up in the next couple rounds, they're going to shore up the defense. Okay. 24, best player available, Brian Branch. Jaguars just fixing up the team that whatever they can do, they get Brian Branch. 25, I don't think the Giants care what wide receiver it is, but they're taking a wide receiver. They're going to take Zay Flowers. I have that as a lock to them at 25. Zay Flowers to the Giants at 25. 26, Zeke's not there. The Dallas Cowboys take Bijan Robinson at 26.
Perfect. And I know they have Pollard, but like
Texas to Texas.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Bijan Robinson at 26 to the Dallas Cowboys. That's happening. 27.
That's so happening.
27. Same kind of thing. I think the Bills don't really give a shit, but they're drafting a corner. I don't think that they care what corner it is. So considering all the big guys are off the board, they're going to draft Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State at 27. It's not that big. He definitely needs to put on weight, and that's my issue with him. I have him ranked a lot lower because of that. But 27, they're going to take Emmanuel Forbes, skill player. 28.
So, Everett, you would expect an SEC guy to not have any weight problems, right?
You would think.
The greatest strength and conditioning in the country, right?
You would think. Okay, 28. Anton Harrison from Oklahoma, tackle, is projected to be in the first round. Is still available. Bengals need tackle help. They're going to draft Michael Mayer. They're taking a tight end. I've seen Irv Smith play way too fucking much. I know what happens when you throw Irv Smith the ball, and he is not going to be their number one tight end. So they're going to draft Michael Mayer. He's a good blocking tight end. He's a good receiving threat. He might not be the fastest guy. He might not have really shown up.
I'm wrong here. Didn't Irv Smith say like he's the missing piece to?
Yes, he did say that. I guarantee you he's not. Dalton Kincaid is an option here, but I think that Michael Mayer is going to be the better NFL player. And just given the fact that they're going to need blocking and stuff like that, I think that he's just going to be better in that position. So Bengals take Michael Mayer, the only tight end to go in the first round this year, at 28. 29, the Saints get an absolute steal at 29, and they take Kalijah Cansey, who's fallen all the way down here who is projected to be a potential mid-round pick. He falls all the way to 29. It's just the way the draft went. Personally, I can see, personally, I think he could go much higher. I think there's a strong possibility, and that's why I said this is partially what I would do based off of what players are available at the point and what I think the teams also might do. So I don't think that this draft is going to be 100% accurate. I don't think that they ever really are, and that's not really what I'm going for here. But they take Kalijah Kancey at 29, stealing him from the Eagles at the next pick. The Eagles do the same thing that the Lions are doing. At pick 30, they take Mozzie Smith from Michigan, continue shoring up that defensive rotation. Now they have both Nolan Smith and Mozzie Smith in the first round.
Just real quick. Never mind. You guys know my thoughts on Mozzie Smith.
And to wrap out the draft, first round, I pick 31, the Kansas City Chiefs draft Anton Harrison. They get a tackle.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. I my big question for a second is Miami, they technically had pick 20. So the Chargers technically have pick 20 now?
No. So the Chargers
19 to 21.
The Chargers have 21. They were originally picked 22. Miami had picked 21. Yes.
I thought they were one ahead of us. Damn.
They are one ahead of you, but it was picked 20 instead of, or it was picked 21 instead of 20. They had picked 21.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Okay. But also, I mean, the Eagles could fully trade out, and I think that's a strong possibility. The Eagles could fully trade out, and the Dolphins would be a team that I would watch to trade back in there because they need a tight end so desperately, and they don't have an early pick in the second round. Dalton Kincaid could go off the board like that if the Dolphins trade in. But with that is the mock draft 1.0. I don't know if you have any additional comments, but we'll wrap the episode up with that.
Yeah, no major comments or concerns from my end. The one thing that I was thinking about or no Jordan Addison round 1.
I said the Vikings drafted him.
Oh fuck. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind then.
Paying very close attention, I can tell. But with that, thank you guys so much for
I mean, fair enough. I mean, I think that was without a doubt the most entertaining segment we've done on the show.
Thanks for that. I appreciate it. I spent time doing this. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, and on Instagram at WaterboyPod. Follow us down below at our own personal handles on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, follow, comment, share, download, everything. Please. Thank you. With that, Waterboys out.